When you turn on the TV, go to the movies, or read a magazine, you're going to see some incredibly gorgeous women. That's not really anything new. For decades, the leading ladies that we see in movies and television are gorgeous. If you're looking for a few examples, well, Facts First presents, these women are the most beautiful in history. ANITA EKBERG is a Swedish-born actress. Throughout her career, she starred in American and European movies. ANITA lived in Italy, and her best-known movie there was La Dolce Vita. While she was a great actress, it wasn't acting that started her career in showbiz. When she was a teenager, she started working as a fashion model. In 1950, she entered the Miss Malmö competition. Later, she competed in the Miss Sweden competition and won. In 1951, she became Miss Universe, even though she barely spoke any English. ANITA's gorgeous looks took her far in her career. Lauren Bacall is an American actress, and she's best known for her seductive good looks and distinctive voice. She's also an incredible actress. Lauren was named the 20th greatest female star of classic Hollywood cinema. In recognition of her place during the Golden Age, Lauren was given an Academy Honorary Award. Lauren was also a model and appeared on the covers of popular magazines, including Harper's Bazaar and Vogue. Hers was one of the most beautiful faces ever to grace these covers. Barbara Eden is best known for her role in the popular 60s sitcom I Dream of Jeannie. When they were casting the role of Jeannie, the producers actually wanted a brunette to break away from Bewitched. When Barbara went to audition for the part, though, the producers found her to be beautiful and funny, which is precisely what they were looking for. They decided to look past the fact that she had blonde hair, and ever since the show ended, Barbara has been continuing to act. JACLYN Smith is best known for her role as Kelly Garrett in the TV version of Charlie's Angels. That led to her and the other angels becoming household names. When the movie version of the show came out in 2003 called Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, JACLYN returned to her role as Kelly. She is a gorgeous woman, a great actress, and a successful businesswoman. SHARON Tate was one of the most beautiful up-and-coming actresses of her time. Sadly, her life was cut short when she and a group of friends were murdered in her home by the Manson family in 1969. She had already had her breakout role, she just married director Roman Polanski, and she was 8 months pregnant with their child when she was murdered. She could have been something special had her life not been cut short. When VIVIEN Leigh first started in Hollywood, her physical beauty made it difficult for her to be taken seriously. After landing a few roles, though, she was able to prove herself, and when she did, she landed roles in classic movies, including Gone with the Wind and A Streetcar Named Desire. When VIVIEN wasn't in front of the camera, she was performing on stage. Sadly, she developed tuberculosis and was sick for the last several years of her life. She died in 1967. Natalie Wood was a Russian-American actress, and she became very popular at a young age. When she was only 8 years old, Natalie starred in Miracle on 34th Street, and she was adorable. Later, she went on to star in classics such as West Side Story and Rebel Without a Cause. Sadly, when Natalie was 43 years old, she died under some suspicious circumstances. She was on a weekend yacht trip to Santa Catalina with her husband, Robert Wagner. Christopher Walken, Natalie's co-star, was the ship's captain. She went overboard and drowned. For years, the case remained cold. In 2018, the case was reopened and Robert Wagner became a person of interest in the case. She was such a beautiful and talented woman. It was terrible she died at such a young age. Sophie Marceau is a French actress, and her rise to fame was in the 1980 film La Bohème. She appeared in many European movies before moving to Hollywood. There, she starred in Braveheart and James Bond's The World Is Not Enough. Sophie often makes the most beautiful women lists but says that she doesn't really know why. She says that she's not beautiful, just photogenic. Wow, talk about being modest. Ava Gardner was born in South Carolina, and she had a very strong accent. She was hard to understand, but the execs at MGM, they saw something in her, and they hired her. She acted for 5 years before finally landing her breakout role in the movie The Killers. In her day, she was one of the most beautiful actresses in Hollywood. Ava was a smoker and developed emphysema in the mid-'80s. She had 2 strokes in 1986, which left her paralyzed. Ava finally died in 1990 from pneumonia. Raquel Welch starred in a few movies before people fell in love with her good looks. Finally, people really took notice when she wore that iconic fur bikini in 1 Million Years BC. This film opened doors for her, and she landed roles in Bedazzled, Bandolero, and 100 Rifles. Over the years, Raquel continued acting, and she starred along Reese Witherspoon in Legally Blonde. Fortunately for Raquel, her beauty never faded. Julie Gibson holds the title as one of the most beautiful actresses in Hollywood. She's also one of the oldest. She's still alive today and is 105 years old. She has outlived almost all of the actresses of the Golden Era. She's the last star alive to have worked alongside the Three Stooges. Amazingly enough, Julie's first role in Hollywood was 80 years ago. What we wouldn't give to know her secret. Columbia Pictures hired Kim Novak as a replacement for Rita Hayworth, whose popularity was beginning to decline. They wanted her to become an opponent for the 20th Century Fox's Marilyn Monroe. Kim solidified her place in Hollywood after starring in Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo. She acted from the 60s on, before retiring in the early 90s. In 2010, she announced that she had breast cancer, and she beat it. Audrey Hepburn was a superstar right out of the gate. One of her first roles was in Roman Holiday alongside Gregory Peck. This role earned Audrey a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress, a BAFTA, and an Academy Award. Audrey wasn't just one of the best and most beautiful actresses of all time either. She was also a humanitarian. In 1993, she died of abdominal cancer. Michelle Pfeiffer was one of the most popular actresses in the 80s and 90s, thanks to her acting skills and her stunningly beautiful appearance. After landing a role in Scarface, Michelle was able to prove that she was more than just a pretty face. A writer for the Daily Telegraph described Michelle's beauty as the kind of beauty you find yourself involuntarily taking a moment to marvel at mid-conversation. Boy, they were right about that. CHARLIZE THERON grew up in South Africa. When she was 15, her mother killed her father in self-defense, and the two headed to the United States. CHARLIZE wanted to be a ballet dancer, but it took too much of a toll on her body. Her gorgeous appearance caught the eye of modeling scouts, though, and shortly after she began modeling, she broke out into acting. She played serial killer Eileen Wuornos in the movie Monster, and that earned her an Academy Award for Best Actress. Today, she continues to star in many big-budget films. You obviously cannot have a Most Beautiful Women in History list without Marilyn Monroe. She's one of the most iconic celebrities in the world. Even today, almost 50 years after her death, Marilyn is still incredibly popular. Marilyn was a model and an actress, and she lived by a certain credo. She said, "Imperfection is beauty, madness is genius, and it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring." Sadly, Marilyn died at the age of 36 from an overdose of barbiturates. Grace Kelly was known for her elegance, her beauty, and her acting skills. She was one of Hollywood's greats during her time. After meeting Monaco's Prince Rainier III, Grace married him, making her the Princess of Monaco. She gave up acting and focused on the arts and philanthropy. Sadly, at the age of 43, Grace suffered a stroke while she was driving and her car went off a cliff. She died on impact. Elizabeth Taylor was born in England, but her parents were American. Shortly before World War II started, the family moved to California. Elizabeth's beauty was apparent at a very young age, and people told her mother that she should be starring in movies. Her eyes were her most beautiful feature. In fact, Elizabeth had a genetic mutation which caused her to grow 2 sets of eyelashes, making them thicker and longer, and that became her trademark. Elizabeth was married dozens of times and had a very successful acting career. What actresses should we have added to the list that we missed? Tell us in the comments, and subscribe for more.